Hello and welcome, everyone. Can you believe that we are in week 12? Sorry, week 11. We're almost at week 12. It's been it's, it's been a journey. I don't know how you guys are all feeling, but thank you for those of you that have stuck all the way through, watching the replays, connecting in. Um, I know that this week, I had a hard time this week. I tried, one of the things that I did was I started a new journal and I wrote the basic principles out with my um, journal. I wrote it on the cover. And I've kind of been doing that because I've gone through two journals with this journey so far. And so I just kind of keep reconnecting to the basic principles because this journey is hard and it is time consuming. Being able to do the morning pages and then the tasks and, the artist date, it's hard. But I will say that the mantra of treating myself like a precious object has been really good for me because I've been reminding myself of that a lot. And then, when I was rewriting these basic principles, it was kind of anchoring me into this journey again and kind of reminding me why we're starting it and why we're here. And, you know, we're almost at the end with week 11. So that means that we've gone through a lot together. This week was called Recovering a Sense of Autonomy. So this week we focused on our artistic autonomy. We examined the ongoing ways in which we must nurture and accept ourselves as artists. We explore the behaviors that can strengthen our spiritual base and therefore our creative power. We take special look at the ways in which success must be handled in order that we do not sabotage our freedom. It really kind of felt like this week was kind of a light week in terms of the journey itself. Last week 10 was really heavy. Um, but this week, there weren't a lot of tasks that, it was really just about like almost like, can you implement this practice into your daily life moving forward? How are you going to do on your own? And I was a little disappointed in myself, honestly. I didn't do my morning pages every single day. Some of that's because I'm trying to also integrate a chakra yoga practice, and wake up every morning and do some yoga, creating a more of a body embodiment practice. And I've kind of been playing with the back and forth of how I want to start my day and how I want to integrate it. In terms of the artist date, I found a lot of beautiful little pockets, and that's the one thing that I think this journey has taught me a lot about is um, really, really being able to find the time and the pockets to do things that work really well for me. Like this week, I didn't have a lot of time. Um, but I ended up actually just going to the gym. I go to Planet Fitness, and part of my membership is this massage chair. And I went up and I didn't work out. I was like, can I just use the massage chair? And I went in for 20 minutes and used the massage chair. And then I came back out and I said, can I sit on the bed? The hydro bed. And I did that. And then I went back to the chair for 10 minutes and then I left, and it was just like I needed that time to just relax. So I kind of considered that my artist date because it was me trying to relax and connect. And I didn't have any should do's or would do's, just I want to massage and relax. And so that was kind of good. In terms of the morning pages, I would say I did 3 to 4 days this week. I didn't do all of them. But I definitely did connect in. Now, in the activities, I love buying journals. So she said, buy yourself a special creativity notebook, number pages 1 through 7, and give one page each of the following categories: health, possessions, leisure, relationships, creativity, career, and spirituality, with no thought as to practicality. List 10 wishes in each area. And she said, all right, it is a lot, but let yourself dream a little here. And I thought and it was a nice way to start a new notebook because, every time I get a new notebook, I'm always like overwhelmed with the first couple entries because I'm like, it's got to be good. It's got to set the intention, the manifestation of this journal. And this was a nice one. I really enjoyed it. So this kind of reminded me a nice way to kind of start that new journal and not overthink it. Um, one of the things she talked about was inventory and looking at um, how we've done during this journey. And for me, I've kind of been a mess this journey. I've been sick. I was, coming through depression, and then I got sick, and then the depression got worse. And, you know, but it's been really eye-opening in terms of boundaries and setting times for myself and doing things for myself. I mean, this weekend, I'm going to a hotel with a friend for a psychic fair, and I'm going to be teaching one of my cosmic improv workshops. And this is really the first time in 25 years, probably, that I'm going away without my husband or boyfriend before he was my husband and children. And I was thinking about that. I was like, wow, it has been a very long time since I've done anything, on my own. And this was kind of set into place, I remember the story a couple weeks ago when I got lost and I ended up at a friend's house and then she invited me and it was all these little synchronicity things that have popped into way. Next thing I know, I'm booking a table at the psychic fair and the next thing I know, someone drops out of the vendors. They ask me to do a workshop. Great, great, great. Wonderful, wonderful. So, I mean, I think that that's a really exciting way that my life has changed and I will try to continue allowing myself to have more independence and allowing myself to follow my dreams a little bit more. I'm in a play. I reached out to a local community theater group and, I just did a small little part, but I've had a couple rehearsals. It's been a lot of fun. It's just been nice. It's been a lot of fun. It's been kind of tiring in a lot of ways, when you're following your bliss, then you also have to prioritize other things in your life. So I think that's like you schedule what's important first. And before I was just kind of scheduling everything, and it usually had to do with my children. And with this new balance, I'm kind of scheduling what's important first and looking at my priorities. And I'm a priority, which is kind of interesting for the first time in a while. And, nurturing myself in ways that I haven't before. Like going to the gym for me is this obligation. I gotta go. I gotta do this. This is 3 times a week. Blah 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 blah. But sometimes it's just gonna be for a massage. Like this week, it was great. I felt really relaxed. I felt wonderful. And then I picked my daughter up and we went out and got some Starbucks, a matcha latte. It was just nice. It's one of those little things that you can do. Um, allowing myself to splurge a little bit on myself. She says, take out a piece of paper and plan 1 week's nurturing for yourself. This I found incredibly overwhelming. I was like nurturing myself for a whole week. This means one concrete loving action every single day for 1 week. And you know what? I will say with Mother's Day this last weekend, I really have had just such a blessing. Like Mother's Day, I went out to brunch and I spent a lot of money at the garden center and I planted my garden and I've been kind of splurging on myself like okay, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna get myself a matcha latte today, or I'm going to go with my daughter and we're going to go to the Puerto Rican restaurant that I love. And, just little things like that, connecting back into some theaters and, um, you know, just little ways of treating myself, waking up in the morning and watching the sun and just taking some time to connect in and drink my morning drink outside. Nothing to do. Just, that's little stuff like that. That is a treat for me because it's allowing myself to be a precious object. And that's really a big takeaway that I've taken with this, artist way, that I deserve to feel worthy. One of the other tasks that she had us do was write an encouraging letter to your inner artist. Remember that your artist is a child and loves praise and encouragement and festive plans. And it's so funny because here I am, I was like drinking out of my, strawberry shortcake mug that my kids got me for Mother's Day. And that's one of my favorite characters as a kid. And just kind of thinking about life and art and theater and just all the beautiful things and just kind of celebrating, you know, the beauty of my life and having gratitude for it. I also teach a chakra embodiment course, and this month has been focused on the heart chakra. And I really feel like with Mother's Day and everything, I feel this beautiful heart expansion and this kind of just real connection. And gratitude is the biggest key for that. I mean, I'm telling you, gratitude really shifts everything. And, writing an encouraging letter to my inner artist was like telling her that, we are really doing wonderful things. We have a wonderful family and our kids love theater and we go see theater all the time. And we're doing theater and we're still connected to the theater, which is all stuff I take for granted because I thought that success was, you know, being on Broadway, or success was, a red carpet, or success was cover of a magazine. And doing this journey, I realized that success for me is something different. Success is more about the journey and the experience and the joy of it, and the practice of it, being able to do it and be able to have the freedom and the flexibility and the time to do the parts that I want, to be creative and to really connect in. Like I have a bucket list of plays and those are the plays I do. That's amazing that I get to kind of pick and choose. And people ask me like, "Well, what plays do you want our theater company to do?" So that way I can audition for them. They want to work with me, and I love that. That's a big success. That's a big way to celebrate. Like we're really successful. We've got a wonderful life, and you know, things are different than how we imagined per se, but they're still beautiful with so much gratitude and so much love and joy. One of the other things she had was list 10 examples of personal synchronicity that support the possibility of a nurturing creative force. And honestly, this whole journey has just been filled to the brim with synchronicities. It's really been, this whole weekend is connected to a synchronicity, getting lost to the woods and then showing up at a friend's house and then getting invited to a psychic fair. And then my friend's buying the hotel and I'm going up with her. And then I get invited to teach a workshop. And again, just that beautiful way that the universe just opens up doors for us and really connects us in. So thank you, right? Now we are moving to week 12, which will be recovering a sense of faith, which will be our last week in the artist way for the 12-week journey. So I'd love you to reach out, email me, wherever you are in the journey, just connect in so that way we can support each other. I am contemplating taking maybe a little bit of a break off and kind of coming back and revisiting this with a new group of people. So if you want to start back up again, or if you want to invite some friends, let me know. Um, week 12, reflecting on our own process. Now, there, this journey is an interesting one. And this journey is really about connecting in and allowing ourselves to celebrate who we are as artists, not the not the jealousy, not the wounded victim, but like where we are and what brings us joy and just following those little breadcrumbs of joy that the universe offers us. So that's just wonderful, 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 right? I wish you all a beautiful journey in the artist way. I hope that this journey has been exciting for you. I hope that you've connected in a lot. I hope that you're feeling good. Please reach out to me and, check out my website too. I have lots of different classes. I teach cosmic improv, which is saying yes and healing through laughter and manifesting through play. I have my chakra embodiment class, which I go through myself. It's just a way of grounding into each chakra for 1 month and allowing yourself to really embody the chakra and connect to it. And it's amazing how many synchronicities line up the artist way and regular life. Just, so when I say there's synchronicities are everywhere, like they really, really are. So it's a beautiful journey. And I thank you so much for being part of this journey. And I will see you all, I hope, for next week for our graduation class where we can celebrate each other. If you've kind of fallen off the wagon and you're not really doing this, it's okay. Start where you are and keep going through. I have been a little lack about getting the replays up on the website, but I was having some technical problems. Things weren't posting. It was my Wi-Fi. But everything should be up on there now. So feel free to touch in and reach out. And I will see you all next week. All right. Blessings. Bye.